achieved.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey de Quarantine. I want to talk to you about way too early mock draft because the Cowboys might end up picking in the 12 range. We don't know, right? They might win the NFC East. It's way too early mock draft. I'm reaching out a screen to grab my laptop because that's where your mailbag questions are, and I forgot. Okay, so we were talking on the radio yesterday. And as I'm working through, I think most of you probably already know this, but I study these guys for the NFL draft every year. This is year 7 for me of studying these dudes. And so as I'm going through, I build my own little draft board like I'm a one-man front office, or two-man. Brian brought us. We hang out together, fight about these guys, and then make a group board. But as I've been making my way through this, you guys may be familiar with my thoughts on quite a few players. But here's what I'm finding. I'm going to give you the names of the guys, and then I'm going to show you. I did a little Cowboys mock draft experiment this morning, and I'll show you the results. Because what I'm going to try to sell you on is something that I know a lot of people are going to look at me and tell me I'm crazy or I'm an idiot or I'm a stupid head, and I'm cool with that. Sports discourse, right? It's fun. I'm going to try to sell you on the idea of using their first pick on offense. I know that sounds wild because their defense needs so much help for the Cowboys. But outside of quarterbacks, right? Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1. Justin Fields or Zach Wilson is going to go number 2. And then the other one's going to go. And Trey Lance, the North Dakota State quarterback, is going to go somewhere in the first round. So 4 quarterbacks are going to go, right? And I've always been Captain Trade Down. Hi-ho, trade down. Away. Here's what I've found. The top pass rushers in this draft class, I don't want to spend a top 10 pick on. Ojulari, the guy at Georgia, nice player. Kwity Paye, Michigan, nice player. Joseph Osai, Texas, nice player. Like there's nice players that are pass rushers. But there aren't guys that I feel like, oh yes, we ain't missing here. This dude's going to be a dude. Let me tell you who I do feel that way about. Outside of the quarterbacks. These are my 6 best players in this draft that don't play quarterback. Penei Sewell, probably going number 3, so you probably can't have him. Rashawn Slater, Northwestern offensive lineman. And then in some order, Jamar Chase, the LSU wide receiver. Devontae Smith, the Bama wide receiver. Jalen Waddle, the Bama wide receiver. Kyle Pitts, the Florida wide receiver / tight end. Those are the 6 best. I did not name a defensive player. So I say that to say this. Here's my idea. And maybe I should have done my mock a little differently, but I'll show you what I did with a mock draft. I did want to see what happens if I go down to around the Bears spot. And so this is going down to 15. I traded down to 15. I got their first, their second, their third round pick. So a draft that looked something like this. And maybe you can't go down this far and get one of those 4 offensive players that I named. But I bet you one of them would be available. In this case, it was Kyle Pitts. 6'6", 240, wide receiver skills, tight end size. I feel real good about him. I feel real good about the top 3 wide receivers. And maybe there's something to be said for I feel good about a good number of receivers every year. So maybe you don't need to go this route, even though my thinking is if you have a top 10, and in this case even top 15 pick, do you want to swing and take a risk on a valuable position? Maybe. Some teams do think that way, where you would say, no, I want to take a swing on a pass rusher here. I want to take a swing on a cornerback earlier in the round. And this is just me. This is one man's opinion. But at this point, I feel better about 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end / receiver, 2 offensive linemen. I feel safer with all of those picks than I do with any corner, any pass rusher, obviously any safety, any D tackle, any linebacker. I feel better about it. And in the goal, if you have a high pick, don't screw it up and pick a guy that you feel is going to be the best player for the next half decade. I don't want to chase after, I have a position of need. I don't want to taco this thing. So this is what I did. I moved down to 15 just to see, and I guess for this exercise, I should have moved down less and taken an offensive player. But Kyle Pitts on the Cowboys. But because you trade down, what you find is, hello, extra second-round pick, extra third-round pick. So now, hey, here's a starting defensive tackle. Hey, here's a linebacker if you want to move on from one of your linebackers, or if not, as a third guy who could very well be a dude in the NFL. Elijah Molden, that's a starting slot corner from day one, and he'll start there for a long time. And then Nixon, the D tackle, I haven't actually watched yet. I cheated. I used Dane Brugler's top defensive tackles when I was down at that pick, and he was his second-ranked defensive tackle in this class. So I double-dipped, but don't worry about that. You can draw it up any way you want, right? Pop in a safety that you like in one of these picks. Pop in, whatever you like. You want to pop in an edge rusher somewhere, pop him in, no problem. And in this scenario, what would you do? If it's Kyle Pitts and you're going to use him as a receiver, well, my next step is I'm going to help your defense one more time. And I hate to do this because he's my guy. But I'm going to call the Chiefs. I'm going to be like, hey, your safeties now are Honey Badger and Sorensen. Juan Thornhill's kind of a part-time guy for you. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and I think he'd be an upgrade at free safety for me because I'm losing my free safety. So Michael Gallup for Thornhill. You upgrade the Sammy Watkins spot. I upgrade my free safety spot. Can we do that? Or find another team and make it a safety or a D tackle, some position of need for the Cowboys. And then in the first round, with your most valuable pick, you're going to pick the player that you feel the best about. And then you manipulate your roster however you need to make your team the best you can make it. Oh, no, I have an abundance of good offensive players. What am I going to do? You're going to find a team that has a need there and has a player maybe in a similar contract spot at a spot you need where they got 1 year left. And maybe he's not going to be long-term, but he can upgrade you this year like you would be helping them with the guy you're sending them. And so that was my thought process, is just I don't want to pick for need, especially in the top. I shouldn't have traded down as far for this video to 15, but especially the top 10 pick. I don't want to pick for need. I'm going to pick the best player, and then I'll make my team the best I can after I've done that. I'm not here to miss on a top 10, 15 pick because I had a position of need. That's what free agency is for. The draft is for need somewhat, but not with the highest value picks. It's just not. Be a bad idea. So tell me what you think. Give me your trade ideas. Let me know what you think. I don't mind being called a stupid head in the comments. I can deal with it. I've been to therapy. I'll be cool. So that's that. Now, in the mailbag, Colin said, hey, Jeff, sorry I keep asking this, and I swear this is the last time that I ask. McCarthy or no McCarthy? I'm sorry, I didn't see that before. McCarthy. I don't want to see them let go of McCarthy, and not because I think that he's an awesome coach. I don't know. But the things that they are doing, he's an offensive coach. The things that he and Kellen Moore are doing offensively, I believe that they are doing the things that lead to winning football. Their team's just decimated by injury. Now, if you want to kill him for people that he's hired, I do think Mike Nolan will likely be on the way out and we'll find a new defensive coordinator. But there's nothing from Mike McCarthy's body of work this year that tells me I need to replace Mike McCarthy. So, no, we got another year. You got another year, and then we'll evaluate McCarthy. Jacob wanted to ask, what would be your thoughts if the Cowboys traded down the first round and picked Jalen Waddle, Alabama receiver, to pair with Cooper and Lamb, and then traded Gallup for a third or fourth in this draft? That's exactly the exercise that I was doing there. Yeah, if I had a top 10 to 15 pick, and if it's your original pick and you're not going to trade down and you're stuck there and picking, to me that's even more reason to say, look, the first thing I want to do here is not miss. I don't want to miss. So if I'm picking at 8 and I'm stuck, I'm picking the best guy. Best guy. And then we'll figure it out. Scott, Tyron's body needed rest. He'll come back. Lyle might take half season to get back to dominating, but I feel good about it by year end. Tyler will probably be the center and Martin the right guard. Who's the left guard in your opinion? Connor McGovern, I believe, will be your left guard next year. Yeah, I think your offensive line next year is Tyron Smith, left to right. Tyron Smith, Connor McGovern, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, Lyle Collins. And that works. And then Connor Williams is a backup pretty much everywhere. Joe Looney's a free agent, but if you wanted to bring him back, you could. And if you see something in Brandon Knight or Terrence Steele that you like, whatever, maybe you want to add a guy somewhere. And maybe if the best player in the first round is an offensive tackle, you pick him. Maybe you'll play him at guard for a minute. Maybe that'll give you the opportunity to flip somebody else somewhere, like a McGovern or whatever. But that's how we do this. We're here to build the team the best we can, ladies and gentlemen. That's our goal. AvoAx. Do you think Kellen Moore's job is safe? Yes, I like Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore's doing a good job. Jerry, what's up, Jeff? Love the show. Had to ask, what do you think of the upcoming Niners game on Sunday? It's very winnable, but how much do you think it'll affect our draft stock if we win that game? It was a great win last night for the Cowboys. The Chargers winning was a great win for the Cowboys. Gave them the 4th overall pick. Sole possession, baby. Great job, Chargers. The Cowboys versus Niners, I think, is a coin flip. Here's why I think it's a coin flip. I think the 49ers are good at what the Cowboys are worst at, which is their run game is creative. There's a lot of misdirection. There's a lot of eye candy. Schematically, they make it tough on you. They're begging you to screw up with your eyes and take your body to the wrong place. And the Cowboys have done that against teams who are nowhere near as good as the 49ers at this. So I think the 49ers defensively with Jason Verrett, Richard Sherman, they have a pretty good secondary. So I think this is a bad matchup for the Cowboys. The one reason the Cowboys can win this game is because Andy Dalton's better than Nick Mullins. That's why they can win this game. So I think it's coin flip. I'm actually going to pick the 49ers, but I think it's pretty coin flippy. Lamont, hey, Jeff, I get trading down, but why not just take Kyle Pitts at 5 and then go defense heavy? If you don't love any of these defensive guys, don't force it. Repeat last year, let the board come to you. That's what I'm talking about. Lamont's my guy. Tucker, hey, Jeff, happy holidays. I know linebacker depth will be addressed in the draft. How do you feel about Monty Rice from Georgia? I've seen him a little bit when I was watching the other Georgia guys against Alabama and Missouri, maybe. Watched a couple games. One of them he was banged up in. He had a banged up foot. I'll get there. I've seen a little bit of him. He's one of those kind of smaller linebackers. He looks like he's probably 6 foot, 230, like Nick Bolton size, but not Nick Bolton freight train hitting and immediate diagnoser. So I bet Monty Rice, I need to watch more of him, but I bet you Monty Rice is like a 3rd round guy, 4th round guy. Kenneth says, bring back the stripper poles at the stadium and the ratings go back up. Just saying. And Steve Williams says, Jerry has won the hyperbole trophy for the last 25 years. So there you go. That's what I got for you today. Leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. Please mash the thumbs up, the like button. Please check 1053thefan.com every day and listen to me on the radio from 2 to 7 on 1053 The Fan, your home of the Cowboys. You can do that on the radio.com app if you're outside our listening area. Thank you. I love you, and bye.